Welcome back to the Recovering Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Today we're going to continue our segment of Ask an Addict. So I got some good questions here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. First question that I've received here. Can you describe the single moment or series of moments when you realized your relationship with alcohol and other substances had to change? It's a great question. And yeah, for sure. I was, well, yeah, toward the end of my addiction, I was kind of couch surfing around and I was on my brother's couch at that time. And I remember I had gone through hell and back just to, just to be able to pick up. And I'd gotten back, I'd used it, and I just wasn't sick anymore. I didn't feel anything. And I remember I had this moment. I came to this fork in the road of my life where I was deciding, okay, I either need to, put a stake in my arm or I need to reach out for some help, you know? And right at that moment, when I was thinking which direction I should go down, which path, my brother calls me and he was like, yo, we need to tell people what's going on, get you some help, all that stuff. So sat my family down the next day, told them what had been going on for 15 plus years. And, um, none of them, except for my brother, really knew anything about it. So it was a surprise. It was a shock. There was also a sense of pride there that I had been the one to sit them down. And it was really, it really kind of turned a corner for me where I realized I had a mirror lifted, right? I was able to look in the mirror. I didn't like what I saw. So it was definitely a moment where things changed. I had a way out. I didn't even realize that I wanted a way out until then. You know, so yeah, that was a very very powerful moment for sure. I'm going to add to that a little bit. Another one, I feel like having we have the ability when we're in active addiction to convince ourselves of just about anything, right? We can do all kinds of, mental gymnastics and justify it because of that and this and blah, 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 right? But I had another pretty impactful moment when, you know, I never really realized, metaphorically speaking, that my house was on fire, right? And I was in active addiction, just kind of sitting inside the house, but hey, I'm not currently on fire, so everything's fine, right? That was what I had told myself. But it wasn't until I got a little bit of time under my belt and I had talked to a couple of my old friends and I had heard and I had seen that they were still stuck in all that. And I was able to step outside of that house and see it was on fire. Wow, like they weren't joking. It's absolutely on fire, and it became so much more impactful for me because I was witnessing it. I was invested in my recovery now because my eyes had been opened. It wasn't a person saying you're doing wrong, you're a bad person, you need to change. It wasn't anything like that, right? This was me stepping outside, getting some time, and saying, "Wow, how could I have called that normal?" Right? How could I have called that social? You know, so that was a very impactful moment where I saw all those mind altering substances differently. You know, I started to see the sloppiness of random drunk people. I started to see just the cracks of societal norms. And that was definitely an important one for me to go through. So, great question. Thank you. All right, let's see. Let me go to the next one here. Next one says, we know recovery isn't just about removing a substance. It's about adding new sources of joy. What unexpected hobby or ritual now gives you the dopamine hit you once chased elsewhere? Yeah, great question. Um, I think there's a couple. The first one I'm going to go with is snowboarding. So, snowboarding has always been kind of my happy place. You know, there's something about driving up this big, massive mountain and, it allowing you to ride down it and have fun and enjoy its scenic views. And there's something humbling about that to me, and very peaceful as well. And I think there's also, every time that I go ride, I have headphones in. I'm very much in the zone, just kind of, bouncing down the mountain as I dance while I snowboard, kind of thing. And um, it's definitely a very fun, peaceful, almost kind of hippie, like being outdoors type of deal for me. But it's also the excitement of snowboarding and just bombing hills, and so yeah, that's definitely a very impactful one for me. And the other one is playing pool. So I've played pool since I was like 7. My dad taught me around then, and by the time I was 14, I was a 3-time national finalist for the BCA Junior National Nine Ball Championships, and uh, shot in a bunch of local tournaments. And I was kind of a little hustler, because nobody expected a young kid to be, that good at pool. But anyway, when I returned to the game in recovery, it very much brought back a side of me that loves to compete. That throws the headphones in and is focused and planning the run out and doing the mental game with the other guy and the whole thing. So that's definitely another one. I love getting all intense and you know shooting in tournaments or leagues or whatever. And so that's been another one too, kind of for that same reason. And it's just something that I just really enjoy the creativity of it. It's almost like trying to solve a puzzle. Like, how can I plan the perfect run? Where do I need to leave the ball each time? All that stuff, right? How can I hide the ball from my competitor so that he can't hit his, get ball in hand, that kind of thing. So it's very much like a chess match kind of thing. So those are definitely a couple of mine. But yeah, I would suggest, I mean, if any of our viewers are wondering, I just put out another episode about tools that serve us, and I go through a couple tools in there that can help find some of these activities. One of them is called the Meetup app, and there's a couple others in there too. So check out that episode as well. Um, but yeah, let me go to the looks like our last question here. If you could slip a note to yourself on the first day of recovery, what would it say in 10 words or fewer? Ooh, a challenge. I like that. Let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, close enough. So um, I would probably use my favorite quote. Um, I would write myself a note saying not to be afraid of change, but to be afraid of not changing, and I just feel like that would have been so impactful in my early recovery because I was terrified of change. I didn't know who I was outside of my active addict self. I had no idea, and it was a process of re-meeting myself, and relearning what kind of music I like now, right? And what kinds of things I like to do for fun, and all kinds of stuff changed. Um, so that would probably be the one that I would leave myself in a note, not to be afraid of change, but be afraid of not changing. Definitely impactful, especially in early recovery. So those are all our questions we have for this show today. But if you have any that you'd like for me to answer on the show, send them. I have the email down in the description below, and you could also leave a comment with the questions if you prefer. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, and yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, let me know. I'm here to I'm here to be of service. So, well, thanks for stopping by. Take care.